Hey guys, this is Anastasia Autumnfire, and today is day 8 of 30 days of Samhain crafting. Tonight's video and craft is very much guided by kind of the energies that I'm noticing are around. So I'm going to chat a little bit about this first, so I apologize if I get a little long-winded. I don't know if anyone else is feeling the same energies I am feeling. It is very much, it is becoming very apparent it's close to Samhain for me. Samhain is always a time of release. It is a time of letting go. It is a time of analyzing what I have going on in my life and kind of seeing, is this something I want to keep on for the new year, or is this something that I need to let go? It reminds me very much of my mother, actually. When I was younger and it was garage sale time, she would be like a whirlwind throughout our house, going room to room and grabbing all of this different stuff, and she'd throw it in your face, you know. Do you want this? Is this something you still want? It is? Okay, we're going to put it in this pile. What about this? You haven't played with this in years. You don't want it anymore? Okay, it's going to Goodwill. What about this? This is broken. Do you think you can fix it? You can? Okay, we'll put it over here. Think about it. If by the garage sale you can't fix it, it's going in the garbage. What about this? Can you fix it? No, you can't? Okay, it's going in the garbage. It's that creation of piles of the things that maybe I don't utilize enough, but they are for my good, so I do need to refocus my energies on them. The things that no longer serve but may help someone else, and it's time for me to release those back into the universe for someone else to gain them. Things that are perhaps quote-unquote broken. Things that no longer really work for me or serve my purpose, but is there a chance I could repurpose them? Is there a chance I could retool them so that they could aid me in my journey? Then I need to focus on that and get that done. If I can't, if something is toxic or venomous and it's just negative and there's no helping it, then I need to banish it. It's no longer even about letting it go. It's about banishing it, because it's not going to help anyone. And that's kind of the phase I'm in, and it feels like the goddess is constantly in my face. What about this? What about this? What about this? And it gets so overwhelming at times, but it's so cleansing once you get it done. But it just seems to me that so many people are going through this right now. They're kind of going through their life and they're just stressed, and it's a cluster. And I know my witchy sister in arms today, she had a moment of, you know, F this, I'm done. And I've had several moments like that today of, you know what, F this, I'm done. And then I have a friend on Facebook, Melissa, who had that same moment. She posted basically F this, I'm done post. When things happen in threes, that is really my kind of my red flag that tells me, okay, I need to slow down. I need to observe. I need to see what's going on around me, because if this has happened 3 times, that means something is going on and I need to figure it out. And for me, it was just acknowledging the time of year, acknowledging the changes in the energies and the changes that were taking place, and really realizing that it's my time to be still. It is time to understand that things that no longer serve me need to hit the road. And I, for one, am terrible about acknowledging what doesn't serve me any longer. So that usually is something that I do go to Goddess for, in aid of clarity. So what I've decided to craft tonight is actually a bath salt. It sounds a little odd, but a ritual bath actually is one of my most successful and satisfying release practices. A ritual bath can be a couple of different things. It can be referring to the bath you take before Entering a ritual, so before entering your circle, you want to cleanse yourself of all inertia, all negative energy, all that kind of mundane muck that gets built up. You want to take a ritual bath to clear that energy, to get that off of you. And so when you enter that circle ready to practice, you're a beacon of positivity and happiness, and just you're everything that is clean at that moment, so to speak. For me, to achieve that, to really get the idea that all grime and muck and just meh is off of me and gone and down the drain, the best thing for me to do is actually do a ritual shower. Just because I can focus on scrubbing, I can focus on getting things off of me and down the drain. Whereas a bath, I tend to get caught up in the process. I like the soaking. I like imagining the stress just lifting off of me and gliding away. And that it's a beautiful thought, but it becomes too meditative for me to get down to business and get out of the shower so I can go do what I need to do. So for me, when I say a ritual bath, it's actually a bath ritual. I will make a little altar. I've got an oaken twig for earth. I have my incense for air. A candle I burn for fire. And then for water, I have various seashells that I can use. For this particular, I grabbed it. Now, where did I put it? I knocked things over. For this particular one, I am going to use my Echo of Peace spell shell that I made for Self-Love September. It still is used, it's still in there, but these salts are very much about finding that inner peace and guidance, so I thought that would be perfect to symbolize water for this. The salts I'm going to make are a blend that I call the Waters of the Dark Lady. This is a blend I normally do not make unless I'm in the dark of the moon. Technically, the dark of the moon doesn't officially get here till tomorrow, but I believe. But being that I was so led to this, I think I'm good. The moon is still very much waning. I definitely feel Hell's presence and aid with a lot of things, so I feel like I've got the green light for this. The concept behind this ritual, the Waters of the Dark Lady, is an image of walking into the Dark Goddess's temple, or wherever you visualize her. For me, she is in a cave right outside the woods, and there's this well, and the water comes right up to the top of the well, and she pours a pitcher into it, making it appear to overflow, but it goes back into the well, if that makes sense. It's a really hard image to explain. And the idea is that I come up to the well and look into the waters to get my answer, get my guidance, get just my center, find that grounding element in her pool. And as I do, all negativity, all worry, all nervousness, everything that does not serve me kind of is washed away as she pours the pitcher into the well and goes into the darkness beyond. And the darkness is so far down there, I can see it, but it can't reach me. That is the visual that I very much take into the bath with me, and this blend is one of opening to the goddess, but also very much about protection, because I don't, in the same breath, I don't want to get lost in those waters, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. It basically is a ritual bath in which I really hone in on the crone energy of the Dark Lady. So first I start off with my salt, my Himalayan pink salt. Again, I like the energy. It kind of gives this loving feeling, which the goddess, regardless of what stage she is at, is all about. Then I have 3 carnation blossoms. I kind of pull those apart and put them in for the maiden. I want to make sure I get all the petals in there. For maiden, and then mother. And then crone. Carnation is very good for strength. It's good for purification, spiritual connection, healing, power, all that jazz. So I've got some carnation in there. Then I have my lilies. I'll take 3 of those as well. Lilies are very much represented of the mother. But because lilies are also sacred to hell, I do feel kind of a grandmother feeling from them at times, which is very indicative of the crone goddess. And these are, just to explain, these are yellow lilies. They're not white. With crone energy, it's a lot of white. You don't really see a lot of yellow. For me, I like actually using the yellow because it gives a bit of energy to it too. As much as I love working with crone energy, I love connecting with my goddess, I do want to energize myself as well as have this meditative and internal experience. I want this to be intimate. I want it to be deep. I want it to be meaningful, but I also want the energy so that when I'm done and I wake up tomorrow, I'm energized and ready for the day. I can take the lessons I've learned and put them into use. 1 more blossom. There we go. That's kind of a cool looking one. And crone. And many people also do correspond lilies with the crone aspect. They are a flower that I believe is used with funerary rites and burials. So it would make sense that they also be attached to crone energy, since so many crones are a form of death goddess in some way. My fingers kind of go wonky sometimes. Okay. And then I have some lavender. Maiden. Mother. And crone. And when I put the lavender in, I did kind of give a bruising. I'm doing the same with my hand now, just to kind of release those oils, release the scent, because that is such a calming influence, and that is a major component to this bath salt. I want it to calm me. I want it to ease my concerns and worries and let me focus my energies on those issues that best serve my time, if that makes sense. Oh, it already smells so yummy. Then I have some jasmine. And again, I just kind of crush the blossoms. With blossoms like this, you don't necessarily need to crush too terribly much because it is going into a hot bath to steep. And crone. As you see, my oh so glamorous bags. Then we have some yarrow. Yarrow is very good for love, very good for connection to spirit. It also is great for divination, which is a major point, at least for me, when it comes to connecting to my goddess. I like divination to be included. Jasmine, yep. And then I'm going to add mugwort. Mugwort, the combination of mugwort and yarrow together are amazing for divination. Amazing, amazing, amazing. A lot of people will make a tea. As I sprinkle myself. Okay. Mugwort, I believe, is something if you're pregnant, you really don't want to mess with, especially in the form of a tea. But if you are not, it's supposedly, I have not tried it yet. It is on my list. Yarrow and mugwort tea. And mugwort, I try to kind of grind it against my fingertips to kind of separate it a bit more. It comes out kind of like fluffy little balls. Or fluffy polyps. I don't think that's any better. But I try to kind of get it clear as much as possible. And when I twist it, I try to keep it in a clockwise motion because I do want these energies to come to me. Next we have some hyssop. I'm sorry, it's a day. This is very much about protection and purification. Maiden, Mother, and Crown. Then we have some nettles. This is kind of looking a little drab as far as colors go, but it is okay. It's not the color, it's how you use it. We've got nettle. Yeah, it's a day. Sorry if my jokes are probably just funny to me. Nettle, of course, amazing for protection. Mother. And I do like adding it to this blend because it kind of adds a darker element. Everything else is kind of the beige and tans. And then even the lavender is kind of a tannish color. But then you have this beautiful deep, deep green nettle. Almost black, which makes me very happy. And then last but not least, I'm going to add some anise. This is to heighten psychic vibrations. Just kind of add that last little tidbit of spiritual connection and power. And Crown. And I find I am not a fan of black licorice. Anise very much smells like black licorice, but when it steeps in the water with lavender especially, it's so calming. It's so refreshing. A lot of people have asked me why I don't use chamomile in this. I don't really have an adverse reason for it. It simply is something I like to use 9 herbs in most everything I do. And I kind of played with it, and I really liked this combination, and I reached 9 without the chamomile. So I've never tried it with, but that would be, if you ever try to craft this on your own, maybe that's something you can play with. I'm always a huge believer in let's try each other's crafts, let's see what works for us. It's a great idea. I wonder how I can use it, but you always want to add something different. You always want to change. No, Jasmine Blossom, you get back in there. You always want to change it up. You always want to make it your own because that's part of our craft. We make it personal. I'm going to add a bit more lavender. And although I've already made and Mother Croned it, if you feel like it's lacking something, don't ever feel bad about adding it. That's kind of the point, is it should be how you envision it. If a smell is off, if it just feels energy-wise that it's off, Like right now, I know I'm going to need more salt just right off the bat. This is going to be a rather large batch. Normally I just make it for a one shot and I'm done, but I have a feeling this Samhain, it is something powerful, so I don't mind making a big batch because then it can sit and soak. There it is. That is what I'm looking for. And oftentimes in crafting, you can have a recipe that is just straight. It is to the point. I have a set of measuring spoons. I'm sure you guys probably don't see me use them much. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the crafting I do now is by hand, by feeling, by memory. There's just a certain point in my crafts that I look at and go, yep, I'm done. I'm good. So yeah, that is the blend. I am going to use some stones. I've got my amethyst point, a snowflake obsidian, and a smoky quartz. Now, the amethyst is for calming. It's for that spiritual love and warmth. I've got a snowflake obsidian, very good for transition, very good for taking negativity and turning it into positive. Smoky quartz, kind of the same thing. Again, it's about taking negative and turning it into a positive, but it also has that calming effect, as does the snowflake obsidian. But with smoky quartz, it has this calming effect and yet amplifying effect as well, I find. It grounds, but it has, because it is a clear stone, unlike other grounding stones, it has this lightness to it. It's very protective, but in a lighter sense, if that makes sense. I did almost forget my Be at Peace oil. Now, my Be at Peace oil was made in the... I need to move my stones out again. Oh, sorry guys. My Be at Peace oil was very much about a grieving process. But when I am making a calming brew of some sort, it is almost always an ingredient I want to add. Good, good, good. And then I'm also going to add a bit of my self-love oil, just because that is a huge amount of my... That deals with a lot of anxiety that I tend to have. Maiden, Mother, Crone, Maiden, Mother, Crone. Oh, Maiden, Mother, Crone, and a circle. As I try to get things. No! It is a day, it is a day, it is a day. Okay. So now we have that oil in there. Oh yeah, there we go. That feels better. And okay, my divination. Oh boy, I'm so glad I saw my Be at Peace oil sitting there all lonesome. Otherwise, I would have really not felt the oomph I need. This is my Crone divination oil, the totem of the owl, I call it. Maiden, Mother, Crone. Maiden, Mother, Crone. Maiden, Mother, Crone. All right, there we go. Sorry about the silence there, guys. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. Beautiful. All right. And I'm sorry if while I'm crafting, I kind of go into, oh, it smells so good. Oh, yes, 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 blah, blah, blah. I know sometimes I see people do that on their videos, and I just go, really, dude? You have to go all excited and stuff? And being on the other side of the thing, you don't realize you're doing it, but I can see how watching someone do that can just be like, enough, dude, you're fine. But you get, and I'm sure you all know this too, whenever you craft something, you kind of get excited about it. It's an extension of your magic, and that's such a huge impersonal thing that you get giddy. Yes, that is it. That is perfect. Oh, love it. Feel much better. Okay, so we've got the amethyst, we've got the snowflake obsidian, and we have the smoky quartz. That is my Waters of the Dark Lady. And the next step is to take that and put it into a sachet bag or a cheesecloth, or something so you can steep it. I know tea bags, if you buy those, that'll work as well. And just steep it in the tub with you, and however you would go about your ritual, you can. Yeah. So that is tonight's craft. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I know I had someone actually commented on my my craft last night saying, you know, I probably wouldn't have added the glitter. Oddly enough, I think Carninos totally agreed with you because he immediately hid the glitter. But please do tell me what you would change about the craft, why you would change that. I love hearing feedback, and I love, that's one of the things I love about the pagan community, is we can learn from each other. So I invite that completely and fully, and just adore that people want to connect. So that does it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow on day 9. Love that number. And I hope you have a wonderful and blessed night. Bye, guys.